I didn't notice it right away. That look. Not because it was obvious. Not because it was dramatic. But because it was quiet. It was the kind of change that doesn't announce itself. The kind that slips into a room and sits down without asking permission. And by the time you realize it's there, it's already too late to pretend nothing happened. For part 2, please subscribe my channel and like the video. I had been his mother for 22 years. 22 years of scraped knees, late-night fevers, school lunches, forgotten homework, slammed doors, apologies whispered through tears. I knew his moods, his silences, the way he laughed when he was nervous, the way he avoided eye contact when he was hiding something. Or at least, I thought I did. It happened on an ordinary evening. That's the part that still unsettles me the most. No thunder, no argument, no warning signs. Just a quiet house and the sound of the clock ticking above the stove. I was standing in the kitchen, rinsing dishes I didn't really need to wash. The water was warm. Too warm. My hands were wrinkled, but I didn't care. I wasn't ready to go to bed yet. Nights had become difficult lately. Too much silence. Too many thoughts. And that's when I felt it. That familiar sensation you get when someone is watching you. I turned around. He was standing in the doorway. My son. Tall now. Broad shoulders. A face that still carried traces of the little boy he used to be. But sharper, older. He didn't say anything at first. Just stood there, looking at me. "Mum," he said eventually. One word. But something about the way he said it felt different, not rushed, not careless. Heavy. "Yes," I replied, forcing a smile. I wiped my hands on a towel and waited for the question I expected. Money. Advice. A favor. That's how it had always been. But he didn't ask anything. He just kept looking at me. And that's when I saw it. That look. The way his eyes moved over my face, my hair, the curve of my shoulders. Not like a son looks at his mother. Not like concern. Not like familiarity. Something else. Something I couldn't immediately name. But my body recognized before my mind did. A tightening in my chest. A quiet alarm ringing somewhere deep inside me. "Is something wrong?" I asked. He shook his head slowly. "No," he said. "I just never noticed before." "Noticed what?" I asked, confused. He hesitated. And in that hesitation, something shifted between us. "I never realized how tired you look," he said softly. It shouldn't have meant anything. People say things like that all the time. But the way he said it, the way his voice dropped, almost tender, it made my stomach turn. "I'm fine," I said quickly. "Just a long day." He nodded, but he didn't move. That's when I should have ended the conversation. That's when I should have laughed it off, told him to go to bed, returned to my dishes. That's when a good mother would have recognized the moment for what it was. A line.
If you love your mother, please subscribe to my channel and like the video. I didn't. Instead, I asked him if everything was okay at work. If he was sleeping enough. If he was eating properly. Mother questions. Safe questions. But the air between us didn't feel safe anymore. "I think about you a lot," he said suddenly. The words landed wrong. Not dangerous yet, but misplaced. "I'm your mother," I said lightly, as if joking. "I know," he replied. Too quickly. Too firmly. And then he smiled. Not the smile I remembered. Not the careless, boyish grin he used to wear. This one lingered. This one stayed on his face a second too long. That was the moment. The exact moment. The moment my son looked at me differently. And something inside me knew our relationship had already changed. I excused myself shortly after, said I was tired, went to my room and closed the door behind me. I leaned against it, heart pounding, trying to make sense of what I'd felt. You're imagining things, I whispered to myself. He's your son. But denial is a fragile thing. And once it cracks, it never truly seals again. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw his expression. That look. The one that didn't belong in a mother's house. I told myself it would pass. That it was stress, loneliness, a misunderstanding. I told myself many things. Mothers are very good at lying to themselves. But the next morning, it was still there. In the way he greeted me. In the way his voice softened when he spoke to me. In the way his eyes followed me when he thought I wasn't looking. And that's when the fear truly began. Because once you see something like that, you can't unsee it.